I've had a lot of anger come up recently. You've seen it all. There was the fantastic anti-migration man who loved people that I don't love. There was the wonderful women in Nick's cafe. Like, how could anyone possibly get angry at that? There was the expat in Nick's cafe as well. That was all one. There was the landlord. We were just starting to touch upon like how I feel about the landlord now, how much I love him, and Lee is now going to give me a reflection on my anger and how it's shifting or not shifting and what I need to do. And
not need to.
No need. We flow. Talk to me, Lee.
What I was reflecting on was how you got here thinking you were at peace.
Yeah.
Right? And within, you were just talking
about...
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was just like, prod.
Well, you had to come out. We were talking about Chris and how you saw him differently.
That's the landlord.
Yeah, sorry, the landlord. So how you saw him differently after you'd had a period of reflection.
Yeah.
Now, if you in that period of reflection, if you'd have maintained your stance that he's an arsehole, you would have seen an arsehole.
Yeah.
Right? But those 3 days where you expressed yourself vehemently, it was emotionally extravagant. Right? Allowed a period for you, if you wanted it, to sit there and feel the humiliation of your own actions. Now,
yes,
that's, if we look at it from an energetic place, that's what happened. But on a physical place, it feels like fucking awful. Right?
Can you speak into the importance of humiliation on this journey?
It's deep shame. So if you don't feel that humiliation, then you don't recognise your own actions and how ridiculous they are. So the humiliation is the absolute stark stupidity. You feel like the whole world has dropped out of your ass, slowly seeping down your leg. You shrink. You shrink. So when you were talking about this, I think in a live where you'd lost confidence because you shrunk. Right? You shrunk down. That humiliation had just shrunk you into this.
Yeah.
Look at you. You think you're this. Look at you.
Yeah.
Right? So it puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
So it's a great humbler.
Yes.
Right.
Can I speak into that? So the physical has humiliated me, and does that mean I'm now connecting with the shame that I've not connected with before, energetically?
Yeah, call it that.
Therefore I'm working with it.
Yes. Yeah. So what you're doing is harmonising it. In a manner, because you have sat with it and you felt it and you've gone small and you've gone through the process of belittling yourself. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I see somebody who hasn't changed, but you've changed a lot. So you've gone through this process.
So when you say you see somebody, what do you mean exactly about that?
I know what you are, but you don't. So you've had to find out a little bit more about what you are. So I'm looking at you as something that you don't know you are yet. So I don't see you change, but I know what must change for you to see it. So
okay, I think I understand. Go on.
Inside there, you've got this ability, or you had, we'll see, to have an emotionally extravagant moment.
Yes.
With another. And justify it as if you were right.
Yeah.
Now, what that is a false creation. That's something that you can't justify those actions unless you are egoic.
Yeah, for many years I have.
Right, and we all did, or have, and are, dependent. So we all did. It's not special, right? It's part of the process.
Yeah.
So once you understand that that's what you're doing, then you can choose to respond in the moment. Like you said about Chris, the landlord, yesterday, rather than see him as the arsehole that you remember him from, when you hated him and didn't want to see him again, you saw him as what he actually is, a lost little boy. And you had
absolutely.
And you had love.
That's exactly what I see now.
Because you recognised it in you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that was when I had lost my confidence. I was in my little boy, feeling my little boy.
You weren't. You were denying it. That's what you were, because you were overly confident.
Oh yeah, before. But when I did that live, you mentioned where I came on and said I've lost my confidence.
Yeah. No,
what's that?
That was you feeling the belittlement. That's why you. That when we were talking about escaping and not being able to walk past here.
Yeah.
You're in your shadow, like you said, and you can't stand in the light.
Yeah.
And you, to a degree, you know that we see through you.
Absolutely.
So that's what made you feel so scuttly, like a little rat.
Yeah. Totally. Which makes you see that even more.
Yeah, right. So now,
So counterintuitive.
right. So there's all this, and you were even talking about it. There's all this love down here, and you couldn't stand in it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, right?
It is crazy, but it also makes total sense
Yeah.
from an ego point of view.
So this is paradox.
Yes.
So you're sat in fear upstairs, thinking that wondering why you're creating stories about how you love yourself, and yet you know that there's love here, but you can't face it because you're not actually in love at all. What you're in is separation, right? You're in the fear, and those three bounces, bang, 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 made it undeniable.
Yeah, I couldn't, and then especially with you being like reflection.
I mean, well, I'm going to be honest with you. This is what you're doing.
This is what I want.
And
you do it in a really loving way. You know, you don't make me feel stupid.
No, but you are.
Yeah.
And you're not. Right? So it's not that I'm judging you, is it? But you've got to judge yourself, is it? Right? You've got to see it.
Yeah.
So that's where the humiliation comes in, and that's where you go into the tiny little boy, right? I'm a little fucking fuck you. And off I'm going to go, right? And it shrinks you. It's all good, man. It's part of this.
Yeah, of course.
When you've got authority, when you aren't able to go into that, when you can see straight through it, like with Chris, you can generate an environment of love for a being in there who's lost.
Exactly what happened yesterday.
Right, and that's authority. That's you holding space, not collapsing it into judgment. Right, and you wouldn't have been able to do that with him had you not gone through that process.
Absolutely, yeah, totally.
And in the same way, the reflections that I gave you, or the mirror that I gave you, didn't give you any room to move. This is what you're doing, denying.
Yeah.
Now you've got to go on a process, right? You're going to go and you're going to run away for a bit. I know that, bro.
Yeah.
But the loop comes back.
And here I am back.
Love you, man. And we can dig into it. If there's no fear there, there's no humiliation. There's self-realization, which is a beautiful thing. And you can see yourself grow. You can see yourself becoming more.
Can I just go back
slowly
to, if there's no fear there's no humiliation. So you can only be humiliated when you're coming from fear, because the humiliation is exposing that fear within you.
Yeah, that's the separation. That's the child sat in the corner thinking they've seen me. The one that's hiding, right? And that's where the ego is, the one that's protecting the child. So that lower ego is protecting the child, and the first thing it does, if the child gets seen, is lash out.
Yeah,
right. So it's a protector.
Can we call that inner child? I know you're not going to want to use that language.
I don't mind. Yeah, let's call it what we want, inner child, right?
Yeah.
And I was openly sat. Little Lee was openly sat in a cage that was full of holes and filling up with water and sewage and barbed wire and dark and stank and nasty noises. All of this and drowning, right? And it was my ego that was trying to say, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good, as I was drowning underneath, right? That loss of self, that sink, until finally I had to go and find me, right? I had to go and love that, which was unlovable. And so that inner child, that lost aspect, the consciousness that's fragmented, whatever you wish to call it, there's so many different names.
Could shadow be one of them?
Shadow's fine.
Yeah.
In the shadow, a shadow is a lack of something. A shadow's not real. It's an absence of light. Right, it's an absence. There's a word called reify. Have you ever heard of reify? Take something and make it real. So if I spoke to you about a shadow, well, a shadow's only there when there's an absence of light.
Yes.
So we think a shadow is a thing.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's an absence of a thing.
That's so interesting.
Right.
So obvious, but so interesting.
Yeah.
It's
So
not been obvious to me before.
we reify these things and make them real, but they're not really real.
Yeah.
Right? So a shadow space, there's lots of things that we reify, but shadow's one of them. So once you beam the light in there is no more shadow. So what's the shadow over there? Or was it just an absence of light?
So this links to, you can only feel humiliation when you have shadow in you, fear in you.
Separation.
Which isn't really real. Once you shine the light on it, you can no longer be humiliated.
And then you have what I would call responsibility. So rather than reacting...
Responsibility.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard it like that.
Yeah. So
obvious.
rather than reacting, you can respond. But respond means that you've got time to breathe, right? Reaction doesn't. It doesn't give you any time. It's impulsive.
Yes.
So reaction's a catalytic react, which is what the anger is.
Yeah.
But for instance, Chris yesterday, you could have held on to that and reacted to him, or you could respond to him. And in that response time, you have the ability to see him, to hold him, to recognise, to recognize him. And therefore,
oh God, he's full of him.
You could love him rather than dismiss him. So you could bring him like a watch.
Sorry, I'm just lost on that. Yeah, it's amazing.
Like a watch, right?
Yeah.
You change the way the cogs work. Recognize. So recognize, recognize. Change the way the mind works to recog it. Literally alter. So recognize with realize and all of these things. All they take is a little bit of redefinition of the word.
And it totally changes it, doesn't it? It's mad. So that's what they originally would have been intention to mean. The way you speak.
Possibly. I mean, I take, we are, let's say it like this, we are able to redefine everything. So let's take the words that we use and give them deeper meaning. Why give them shallow meaning? I recognise that. No, I recognise it.
Beautiful. Right?
And that's for us, right? We can take any word and agree on its definition, or we can redefine it and agree on that. We are creators of the word, right?
Fantastic.
So in all of this, patterning and all of these ideas, it's simple. It really is simple.
Yeah, it's really simple. It's really complex and really simple.
Yeah.
Complex to the conditioned mind, but very simple to resolve.
That's why it sounds like when I'm doing the higher stuff, when I'm talking to you in words that you just... it sounds like it's unavailable or what's
inaccessible.
Inaccessible.
Well, yeah.
But I'm showing you that there's all of this, and it seems so complicated, but once you understand it, there's a simple path through it. It's not, right?
Yeah, no, I see that.
It just takes a little bit of time. So that's the path, mate. And this, what were we talking about? The humiliation. Yeah, that was, see, you'll recognize, you've recognized now. At the beginning, I justified my action.
I thought I was doing it right.
Yeah, that's self-righteous. But it's not righteous.
Right.
You've created the reasons. But if you told me those reasons, I would disagree with you.
Yeah.
So they're only your reasons, right? Self-righteous. But to be righteous, they have to be truthful. They have to be standing. They have to not just be true for you, but they have to be true for everybody. Otherwise,
Hang on.
So think about truth.
Yeah.
Right? If I've got a truth,
Yeah.
and you've got a truth that disagrees,
Yeah.
then we have two truths.
So it's not true. Or both of them can't be the truth.
No, so they're not universal, are they?
Yeah, but right, so I'm totally with that, but then when you say it has to be viewed by everyone, bearing in mind we live in complete separation, dualism and delusion, how does that work?
Yeah, so what we're going to find is there's a lot of people who don't agree.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say you're wrong.
Yeah, so you
But
mean...
you may find people that do agree on a higher level.
So you don't mean everyone?
No, I don't mean it in this world. I mean like so for instance, if you were going to talk to me about the interactions with Chris, for instance.
Yes.
Now you might have a truth about what happened and I might give you another one, and my truth might challenge yours. Now you can either hold on to your truth or realise, fuck, that's not the truth.
Yeah.
So then they would be agreed upon. We would have truths that would agree if you agreed with mine.
Right.
So this would be a more aligned truth. Right?
Yeah, so I'm totally with that. I think you just used the wrong word with everyone.
Possibly.
Yeah, no problem.
And so the self-justified is fine. Self-justified gives you reason to keep the ego intact.
Yes.
But once you start to righteous, or think about it on a higher path.
You like this word righteous, don't you?
It's more like righteous, harmonic, in tune. Once you start to see it for what it is and not what you want it to be.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So you saw Chris yesterday for what it is.
Yeah.
Not what you didn't want to.
Which is actually what I want it to be as well. Nice and playful and lovely.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it to be before. Why was that?
Why couldn't you do it before? Because you had to see it.
Yes.
And Chris played his part for you.
But also, that's true, but also I couldn't do it. Like there was something in me that stopped. So what was that? That was trauma, what I call trauma, fear, depression.
Give it a name if you want. I call it separation.
Separation, yeah.
So, we can simplify all of that, otherwise you're going to give it a name and make it something. It's not like reify it, like the shadow. You can call it trauma, all of these things, but afterwards you realise it wasn't. It was just separation. You didn't know yourself.
Which is the fundamental trauma, which I know is not language you would call it.
Fine, it's good. Transiently, fundamental trauma, the original sin.
So I think Lee will correct me if I'm wrong, I think what Lee is referring to is the original trauma is the separation from oneness. Is
Yeah,
that,
that'll do.
Yeah.
Make that simple.
Yeah.
And then when that happened is before you can remember.
Mm.
So everything else is a symptom.
Yeah.
And once we can see, this is what I'm trying to do with a lot of this is remove complication.
Yeah, I'm not sure you do a great job of that. You do actually, you do a great job of that, but the pleb in me projects onto you.
I get that, because the mind, right?
Yeah.
You want there to be complication because it feeds the ego.
Yeah.
But if I say you don't remember when you were separated and everything else is a symptom, none of it is real.
Yeah.
Your mind is going to go, fuck no, I want all of this to be
No, I
real.
really like it.
And
I really like
complication
it.
comes in, right? And that's cool. Now we're going to argue. Debate. You're going to tell me about all of these things, and I'm going to say no.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm very good at accepting the no's and accepting the ultimate truth of what you're saying, but it's all this, but it's just this separation, and all this is a symptom. I'm totally with you there.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's going to be situations that occur where that my resistance to it shows, like anger. But intellectually, I'm totally open to what you're saying. I'm totally with you, actually.
And actually, harmonically, you're getting better at it as you go through this releases.
Yeah.
So with your...
Can you use another word for harmonically that helps me understand?
Responsibility.
Yeah.
You're becoming more responsible.
Yeah, okay, great. That helps.
You're becoming responsible.
Responsible.
Right? Responsible.
Yeah.
Accountable.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So you can take account of your actions.
Yes.
You're becoming responsible, so you
Yes.
can respond rather than react, right?
Yeah.
Now, these words you've never heard before, you haven't really broken them down that way.
I use those words all the time, but not broken down like that.
But flippantly, they're throwaway words.
Yeah, so.
But if you actually hold up, see, I talk about depth, not shadow. So when you use the word responsible, it's like, fuck off. You haven't got any responsibility.
Yeah.
You are unable to respond.
Yeah.
In this term, right? So if you think about it like a discipline, you've got to work the muscle of response to become response able. Crazy, isn't it?
So working the muscle of response is what happened with Chris, the negative happening. That is work. That's working the muscle to see it.
Yes, so that's the first.
But it was part of the working of the muscle. I had to do that to work the muscle.
That was the dropping. That was the realizing that you didn't have a muscle. You weren't able to. So in there you saw your lack of ability. Right. So you didn't have response ability. You were reactionary. So that was all you had. Now in the conversations that we then had, I could show you a different way of thinking about it. Now I didn't mention these words then, because these words weren't where you were.
No, I just needed a reflection. But you delivered perfectly.
Yeah, and that would allow you to feel the humiliation. Now without that humiliation, even though I didn't add it to you, without that feeling and without that time on your own, this conversation couldn't have happened.
Yeah, totally.
So it's just, this is what, this is the dance, bruv.
It's perfectly cast. The die is perfectly cast every time.
Yeah, and seeing it in real time is you don't. It's a simple answer. You don't until
by real time, you mean in the moment.
Yeah. Until you've practiced this.
Yeah.
I call it remembering, right? Until you remember enough, you can't write your own script.
But you could also, on a dumbed down level, to make it more accessible for people, you could call it learning.
People see, yes, all right. There is a stage where you would call it learning.
Yeah. It becomes remembering. I totally accept that.
So you learn this stuff because you've forgotten it, but you can't call it forgetting because you think you don't know it. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And what I'm not doing is teaching you responsibility. I'm reminding you that you are.
Yeah.
But you've forgotten that you are. So I'm giving it in a way that you can. And the dots join, and then all of a sudden it happens, and you think, well,
yeah,
I can't be any other way. I can't do it any other way anymore. So it gets to the place where it's natural.
Totally.
It's natural and organic. It's like you always were it.
Yeah.
You just went through a period of forgetting it.
Yeah. If you enjoy my chats with Lee, then there's loads of them on my other channel, this channel, so go and check that channel out. There's probably, there is a playlist, I will make one now, titled Conversations with Lee. Enjoy!